Hello and welcome. Most of the world knows Genesis drummer and lead singer Phil Collins as a global rock star with a string of hits with his band and then with his own solo career. But Phil began his show business career as a young actor. In fact, he played the artful Dodger in the West End production of the musical Oliver. His interest in both acting and drumming started in school, and as he said many times, he never imagined he would have the musical success that would follow. He rarely went back to his acting roots, mostly because he was too busy writing hits and touring, though he did fit in an appearance in TV's Miami Vice. But in 1987, he was cast in the title role of the British film Buster, based on the notorious life of former Great Train robber Ronald Buster Edwards, with English star Julie Walters playing his wife. I chatted with Phil at the Cannes Film Festival shortly before filming started on the movie about his career and also about his very successful approach to songwriting.
Unknown to us, of course, until today, you actually have done a little bit of acting here and there since from the age of, 12 or so?
Yeah, I don't know how serious you take that. I mean, I did... my mother's a theatrical agent for kids, in London. She's been doing that for the last 20 years. And so when I was 14, I did Dodger in Oliver on the West End.
In the West End, right.
On the West End stage, I did a few other things like TV stuff after that. But really, I just want to be a musician, But basically, I got my appetite whet again when I did this Miami Vice. How
long ago did you do that?
Probably 2 years ago now.
Right. And what sort of a character was that?
I think they are.
Spiv, really. Just totally in character. And no, but that I didn't really. I had put acting behind me, I didn't really want to. I mean, acting in the loosest possible sense. Nothing as serious as any of this is. But I did. I did put it behind me because I really wanted to just be a musician. And I obviously had I've got a good career as well, musician. But that Miami Vice thing, because they liked my music, they asked me to do a cameo part, and the cameo turned into a leading role in the episode that I did. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge of doing something different. Yes, thanks. The challenge of doing something different, and also the fact that I had an interest in something other than music, because I just worked so hard doing music that to do something else was very interesting for me. So I really enjoyed that, getting up early in the morning, going out there, learning my lines, and as a result of that, I started to read the scripts. I didn't read too many of the scripts. I'm not very good at reading scripts. I lose interest if it doesn't grab me. But my manager read this one and said you should read this one. So I started reading it like I read all the others.
What did you, obviously you, like me, was pretty young when the Great Train robbery took place. What do you remember?
Well, I remember the headlines and stuff. It's a bit like what we were doing when Kennedy got assassinated. I mean, I remember seeing it all, and the fact that this was
an extraordinary
thing. Yeah, I mean, 63. I guess I was 13. So I don't know how much you remember and to what detail you remember it. Thank you. But definitely. One of those things that then, if you'd have asked me then, would I have ever I suppose if you'd have asked me then if I've ever been going to be in a film, I'd probably laughed at you.
Have you since met Buster?
No, not yet.
A flower shop or something down there?
Yeah, he has a flower stall in Waterloo Station. No, we're going to meet. Neither Julie or myself have met. I don't think Julie's met June. We're going to. Because David's met them a few times.
Now, what does this mean for the music career? Obviously, there's like a 2 months to 3 months break.
Well, we're on the middle. I mean, last night we played in Spain, playing in Madrid to 70,000 people, and tomorrow night we're playing in Toulouse to 30 or 40,000 people. So this is just a day off. Where I came down here because obviously this is something. I mean, to work with Julie is wonderful. I mean, if I could have chosen anybody to work with in my first film, I think she's wonderful. So, but no, music is just. We finished our Genesis tour. We finished that in July, and that gives me a couple of months. One of which I spend with my kids. They come over from Canada, and I spend a month, being a dad for a month.
How many kids have you got?
2. They live in Vancouver with their mum, and then they come over here, and then I've got 3 months really to really prepare And after Christmas, of course, whatever we do, like come back here to launch it next year, do the chat shows and stuff, I'm going to allow as much time as necessary for that. But music is just on hold for a little while until Christmas, really.
Including the writing as well?
Well, who knows? I mean, I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do anything once the film starts. And also preparation, and I like to prepare a bit. But if you think of the film being finished by Christmas, then obviously, I'll start on one of my own solo albums. I'll start a solo.
Is there another album in the pipeline that's coming down at the moment?
Somewhere in here there is. I don't know. It hasn't come out yet.
But it hasn't been recorded. You haven't put tracks down.
No. We've been too busy. We've been on the road since September with Genesis. And we won't finish till July, so that'll be like a 10-month tour.
And what about live albums from the tour?
Maybe. I don't think actually a Genesis live album. I think we've done two live albums in the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years. So I think the next thing we do will be a studio album. But that's after my next solo album. That's so far in advance I can't even think about it.
And have you written any of the songs for the solo album?
I've got some ideas.
So nothing really down on paper?
No. I mean, I usually wait until I have to do it, and then I do it.
Can I ask you just a little bit about the music writing? I mean, are you one of those people who carries a tape recorder with you and sort of puts some notes into the thing or ideas?
If I get an idea for lyrics, I'll write them down. Musically, I did try, because we were playing 5 nights in one place and then 6 nights in one place and then 5 nights in America and Australia. In fact, Sydney we played 5 or 6 nights at the entertainment centre. I did carry a studio around, a little portable studio, but by the time you plugged it up and got it working, lost interest. So I usually wait till I get home and just thrash around on the piano.
Yeah, and it really is that sort of process of trying a couple of bars and then scribbling them down and coming back in.
Yeah, I mean it's unnervingly loose, really. I mean, when you think of how much surrounding it, I mean, other people are, obviously, wait for the record to come out, and if they knew how haphazard it all happened, they'd probably get a fright of their lives. But it eventually comes out.
How was the tour of Australia, just in the logistics of moving from one city which is as big as the States?
I broke my ankle in Australia, actually. I always have a soft spot for Australia. Broke it in Melbourne.
How is it?
It's still broken.
Is it?
Because I haven't stopped working since then.
But it really is still broken?
Yeah. I got bottom of my fibula on the outside is broken, and that happened in the middle of December, and I haven't really stopped since then, so it hasn't had a chance to heal. So I just have to wear this thing that keeps it in place.
Well, I hope you don't hold it against us.
No, I won't. I'm sure I'll come back.
Thanks very much, mate. That's terrific.
What a lovely guy. And by the way, 2 of Phil's songs feature in the movie, A Groovy Kind of Love and 2 Hearts. He later won an Oscar for his song You'll Be in My Heart from the soundtrack to Tarzan in 1999. Phil's now 70 and retired from performing and touring, largely because of physical problems, and he devotes his time to family and a long-held interest in the Alamo in San Antonio, Texas.